Korean with BTS Filter by Jimin. I'm going to go over the main course part with repetition. That way it'll help you memorize the phrases. 섞어. 섞어 comes from the verb 섞다. And 섞다 means mix. 섞어 is informal, so this is a word you would use casually with your friends. And you can just assume pronouns based on the context. So it could be I mix, you mix, he, she, it, we, or they mix. 색. 색 means color. 색. Okay, now then how would you say mix the colors? 색을 섞어. Here, 색 means color. 을 is an object marker. 섞어 means mix. 색을 섞어. 속 means inside, in, or within. 속. 팔레트 is an English word. Palette. 팔레트. Okay, then if I say 팔레트 속, what do you think that means? 팔레트, palette, 속, in or inside. So this could be in the palette. 팔레트 속. Okay, so if I say 팔레트 속 색을 섞어, what do you think this means? 팔레트 속 색을 섞어. Okay, I want you to try to think in Korean, so sort of break this phrase apart. 팔레트 속. 팔레트 속 means in the palette. 색을 섞어. Mix the colors. So in proper English, it would be mix the colors in the palette. 팔레트 속 색을 섞어. Okay, now we're going to move on to the second sentence. So it starts with 어떤. 어떤, which means which or what kind. 어떤. 어떤, which, 색, color, 을 is an object marker, 섞어, mix, and this is asking a question. 어떤 색을 섞어? Okay, and of course you can assume different pronouns, but let's assume it's I asking a question to you, me asking a question to you. So if I say 어떤 색을 섞어, which color should I mix? Okay, then what do you think this means? 어떤 팔레트 색을 섞어? 어떤, which, 팔레트, palette, 색을 섞어, mix color. So which palette colors should I mix? 원해. Okay, this is informal, so it's a casual language that you would speak to your friends. And you can assume different pronouns. So it could be I want, or if I'm asking a question, 원해, it could be do you want? 원해. 원해요 is casual formal, so it's one level up in politeness from 원해. Okay, whenever you add 요, it just makes it a bit more polite. Okay, 원해요. Okay, now then what do you think this says? 어떤 색을 원해? And it's asking a question. 어떤, which, 색을, color or colors, 원해, want. So it's asking a question, so it could be, which color do you want? 어떤 색을 원해? Okay, then what do you think this says? 어떤 나를 원해? Okay, so here 나 means I, 를 is an object marker, so then 나를 becomes me. 어떤 나를 원해? 어떤 which 나를 me 원해 want. It's asking a question, so which or what kind of me do you want? 어떤 나를 원해? Okay, now let's review the words that we just learned. How would you say mix in Korean? 섞어, 섞어. How would you say color or colors? 색, 색. How would you say mix the colors? 색을 섞어, 색을 섞어. Now, how would you say in the palette? 팔레트 속. Okay, now then, how would you say mix the colors in the palette? Remember in Korean, it's in the palette comes first, and then mix the colors phrase comes next. 팔레트 속 색을 섞어. Okay, now how to say what kind or which in Korean? 어떤, 어떤. Okay, how to say me in Korean? So me in Korean will have to be I, and then with an object marker. 나를, 나를. Okay, how would you say want as in do you want? Want? You want? Do you want? 원해? 원해? Okay, now then how would you say do you want me? 나를 원해? Okay, now adding the word what kind or which. How would you say what kind of me do you want? 어떤 나를 원해? Okay, now let's move to a third phrase. 나의, 나의. What do you think this means? 나의. My. And what do you think this means? 세상, 세상. It means the world. Then how would you say my world? 나의 세상. Okay, so here's a verb, and this is a dictionary form. 변화시키다, which means to change or transform, and it's allowing something to change and transform. 변화 means change. And 시키다 is it's letting someone do it or is making someone do it. It's making someone change. 변화시킬. Okay, this word is an adjective. In Korean, there's actually a future tense adjective. 변화시킬 is describing something that will happen in the future. So 변화시킬, so will change or transform. So in other words, it's going to make something change or something transform. 변화시킬. So when you say 변화시킬 filter, it's describing the filter. Filter that's going to make a change or that's going to transform. 변화시킬 filter. Okay, so if I say 변화시킬 색, what do you think this means? So here, 변화시킬 is an adjective, future adjective that's describing 색. 변화시킬 색, color that will or could. Sometimes can, I know it's a future tense, but in English sometimes you can say it can transform or change. Okay, do you remember what this means? 나의 세상. 나의 세상. My world. Okay, now then what do you think this means? 나의 세상을 변화시킬 filter. Okay, if you break this down, 나의, my, 세상, world, and 을 is an object marker. 변화시킬 will transform, filter. Okay, you know that 변화시킬 is describing filter. So filter that will transform what? What is it gonna transform? 나의 세상, my world. 나의 세상을 변화시킬 filter. Filter that can transform my world. 나의 세상을 변화시킬 filter. Okay, quick review. How would you say world in Korean? 세상. And now, how would you say my world in Korean? 나의 세상. How would you say will transform or change? 변화시킬. Okay, now then, how would you say filter that will, could, or can transform my world? 나의 세상을 변화시킬 filter. Okay, let's do a quick review on some of the words. Now, if I say 나의 세상을 원해, what do you think this phrase means? 나의 세상을 원해? 나의 세상을, my world, 원해? Want? Do you want? So, do you want my world? 나의 세상을 원해? Okay, what do you think this means? 어떤 세상을 원해? 어떤, which or what kind? 세상, world. 을 is an object marker. 원해, do you want? 어떤 세상을 원해? What kind of world do you want? 어떤 세상을 원해? Okay, now the last sentence. 네 맘에 씌워져. Okay, the first letter, 네, is pronounced as ni to distinguish itself from another letter, 네. Okay, there's another letter, 네, which means my, and then 네, which means your. So to make the distinction, you pronounce this 네 as ni. Okay, ni means your, 맘 means heart, and 맘에 means on the heart or in the heart. 씌워져 means cover, but it's asking you to cover. Okay, so 네 맘에 씌워져 can be translated to cover on your heart, or better translated, cover over your heart. 네 맘에 씌워져. Okay, how would you say your in Korean? 네, or more commonly pronounced as 니. Okay, how would you say heart or mind in Korean? 맘. Okay, then how would you say in your heart or on your heart or over your heart in Korean? 네 맘에. 씌워져 means cover, or there's a couple different ways that can be translated depending on the context. One could be that it becomes covered, or another is asking you to cover, so please do cover. 씌워져 comes from the verb 씌우다, which means to cover. 씌우다. 씌워져. 네 맘에 씌워져. Cover over your heart. And you can translate it either way. It could be allow it to cover your heart, or please cover it over your heart. 네 맘에 씌워져. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. Bye.